Weeks passed since that tense night in the flower shop, and life began to take on a semblance of normalcy for Adana and Uche. They agreed to take things slowly, allowing their relationship to heal and rebuild. Uche was patient and attentive, doing everything he could to show Adana that his love was genuine. He bought her flowers, took her on quiet walks, and spent hours talking with her, just as they had in the beginning. Adana, though still guarded, began to feel her heart soften again. She allowed herself to enjoy Uche's company again, savoring the small moments of joy they shared. But beneath the surface, the scars of betrayal remained, making her wary of fully trusting him again. The memory of Uche's doubts still haunted her, and she feared that they could resurface at any moment. Meanwhile, Chioma was far from defeated. Humiliated by her failure to win Uche and enraged by her public outburst, she plotted her revenge in the shadows. Chioma's pride wouldn't allow her to let things go, and she became obsessed with the idea of tearing Uche and Adana apart for good. She decided that if she couldn't have Uche, no one else could, especially not someone like Adana. Chioma's new strategy was more insidious than before. She knew that direct confrontation hadn't worked, so she decided to play a longer, more subtle game. She began spreading new rumors, not about Adana this time, but about Uche. She whispered to anyone who would listen that Uche was only staying with Adana out of pity, that he was seeing other women behind her back, and that he was planning to break things off once he got bored. These lies began to circulate through the town, eventually reaching Adana. Though she tried to dismiss them, the doubts started to creep in. The fear that Uche might be hiding something from her gnawed at her, making her question every interaction, every word he said. She didn't want to believe the rumors, but the pain of their past still lingered, making it difficult for her to fully trust him. Uche, completely unaware of Chiome's schemes, continued to pour his heart into their relationship. He noticed that Adana seemed distant at times, but whenever he asked, she assured him that everything was fine. Still, he couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. As Chiome's rumors continued to spread, Adana found herself in a state of constant anxiety. She didn't know who to believe or what to think. Her feelings for Uche were strong, but the doubts were stronger. She wanted to confront him, to ask if there was any truth to the rumors, but she was terrified of what she might find out. One day, while at the flower shop, Adana overheard two women gossiping about Uche. They were saying that they had seen him at a party with another woman, laughing and flirting as if he didn't have a care in the world. Adana's heart sank. But could this be true now? Could Uche be hiding something from her? That evening, when Uche came to visit, Adana was distant and quiet. Uche, sensing that something was wrong, pressed her to tell him what was bothering her. Adana, her emotions finally boiling over, confronted him about the rumors. She asked him if he had been seeing another woman, if he was only with her out of pity, if he was planning to leave her once he got bored. Uche was stunned. He couldn't believe that Adana would think that of him after everything they had been through. He denied the rumors vehemently, trying to reassure her that he loved her and only her. But Adana, hurt and confused, couldn't bring herself to fully believe him. The seed of doubt had been planted, and it had taken root deep within her heart. The tension between them grew, straining their relationship to the breaking point. Uche, frustrated and heartbroken, didn't know how to prove his sincerity to Adana. He had been nothing but honest with her, but now it seemed like nothing he did could convince her of his love. Adana, on the other hand, felt trapped in a cycle of doubt and fear, unable to trust the man she loved. As the days went by, the tension between Adana and Uche became unbearable. Their once loving conversations turned into awkward silences and sharp exchanges. Adana, torn between her love for Uche and the doubts that plagued her, began to withdraw from him. She stopped answering his calls, avoided his visits, and immersed herself in her work at the flower shop, trying to escape the turmoil in her heart. Uche, devastated by Adana's withdrawal, didn't know what to do. He couldn't understand how things had gone so wrong, and he was desperate to find a way to fix it. He decided to confront Emeka, hoping that his friend might have some insight into what was happening. When Uche met Emeka, he poured out his frustrations, telling him about the rumors and how they were tearing his relationship apart. Emeka, realizing the depth of the problem, decided to come clean. He confessed that he had been the one to initially bring the rumors to Uche's attention, but he hadn't realized how much damage they would cause. Emeka also revealed that he had heard whispers about someone deliberately spreading lies to sabotage Uche's relationship, though he didn't know who was behind it. Uche was furious. He couldn't believe that someone would go to such length to destroy his happiness. But more than that, he was filled with regret for not trusting Adana enough, for allowing the lies to create a rift between them. He knew he had to confront Adana and tell her the truth about what he had learned. That evening, Uche went to the flower shop determined to clear the air once and for all. He found Adana in the back, arranging flowers, her face a mask of sadness and fatigue. Uche approached her, his heart heavy with the weight of everything that had happened. He told her everything about the rumors, about Emeka's confession, and about his own fears and insecurities. He admitted that he had made mistakes, that he had allowed others' opinions to influence his feelings, but that he loved her more than anything and was willing to do whatever it took to make things right. Adana listened, her heart breaking all over again. She wanted to believe Uche, but the pain of the past few weeks had taken its toll. She told him that she needed time, time to process everything, time to heal, time to figure out if she could ever fully trust him again. Uche, though heartbroken, understood. He knew that he had hurt Adana deeply and that it would take more than words to repair the damage. He promised to give her the space she needed, but he also vowed to prove his love to her, no matter how long it took. As Uche left the flower shop, The future of their relationship hung in the balance. Both of them were caught in a web of lies, betrayal, and doubt, unsure of what the future held. But one thing was certain: their love, though battered and bruised, was still alive, and it would take everything they had to save it. Weeks passed since Uche and Adana decided to take their time apart. The distance allowed them both to reflect on their relationship and the pain they had endured. Uche focused on his work, but his thoughts were never far from Adana. He often visited the places they had shared memories, hoping to feel closer to her. He missed her laughter, her warmth, and the way she made him see the world differently. Adana, on the other hand, spent her time in quiet contemplation. She sought solace in the flower shop, arranging blooms that reflected her emotions. Her mother watched her daughter with concern, but didn't press her to talk. She knew that Adana needed to find her own way to happiness. One afternoon, while arranging a bouquet, Adana received an unexpected visitor. It was Emeka, Uche's closest friend. He came to apologize for his role in the turmoil, explaining how Chioma had manipulated him and how he had unwittingly fed into the rumors. Emeka's sincerity and remorse touched Adana, and for the first time in weeks, she felt a glimmer of hope. Maybe not everyone was against her. Maybe there was still a chance to find the truth and heal the wounds. Emeka also told Adana something that shook her to the core. Chioma had been the mastermind behind the rumors all along. She had spread lies out of jealousy, determined to destroy what she couldn't have. The realization left Adana feeling both angry and relieved. Angry that someone could be so cruel, but relieved that the doubts about Uche's love were unfounded. Adana decided to confront Chioma. She wanted to understand why Chioma had done what she did and to put an end to the lies once and for all. She arranged to meet Chioma at a cafe, choosing a public place where she wouldn't feel vulnerable. When Chioma arrived, she was surprised to see Adana waiting for her. Her initial shock quickly turned to disdain as she realized why Adana had called her. Chioma tried to brush off Adana's accusations, but Adana wasn't intimidated. She calmly laid out everything she knew, her voice steady as she demanded the truth. Chioma, realizing that she had been caught, finally broke down. She admitted to everything: the lies, the manipulation, and the jealousy that had driven her to such lengths. But instead of finding satisfaction in Chioma's confession, Adana felt a deep sadness. She couldn't understand how someone could harbor so much hatred, especially when it was clear that Uche's heart had never belonged to Chioma. Adana left the cafe with a heavy heart, but also with a sense of closure. She had faced her enemy and learned the truth. Now it was time to decide what to do with that knowledge. That evening, Adana decided it was time to see Uche. She knew that their relationship would never be the same, but she also knew that she still loved him deeply. She wanted to give him a chance to make things right, just as she wanted to find a way to trust him again. She called Uche and asked him to meet her at the park. Uche, his heart racing, agreed without hesitation. He arrived early, nervous and hopeful, unsure of what Adana would say. but knowing that this was his last chance to win her back. When Adana arrived, Uche was struck by how beautiful she looked, despite the sadness in her eyes. They sat together on a bench, the air thick with unspoken words. Finally, Adana broke the silence. She told Uche everything she had learned from Emeka and Chioma, and how it had taken her time to process it all. Uche listened, his heart aching as he realized the extent of the pain Chioma's lies had caused. He apologized again, this time with a deeper understanding of what he had put Adana through. He promised that he would spend the rest of his life making it up to her, if she would only give him the chance. Adana looked at Uche, her heart full of conflicting emotions. She knew that it wouldn't be easy to rebuild their relationship, but she also knew that love was worth fighting for. She reached out and took his hand, her voice soft but resolute, as she told him that she was willing to try, but only if they did it together, with honesty and trust. Uche's heart swelled with relief and gratitude. He promised to always be honest with her, to never let doubts come between them. They sat together in the park, holding hands as the sun set, their hearts filled with a renewed sense of hope and determination. Over the following months, Uche and Adana worked hard to rebuild their relationship. It wasn't easy. There were still moments of doubt and fear, but they faced them together openly and honestly. Uche continued to prove his love through his actions, and slowly Adana began to trust him again. They spent more time together, exploring new places and creating new memories. Uche introduced Adana to his family, who welcomed her with open arms, and Adana introduced Uche to the world of flowers, teaching him how to arrange bouquets that spoke of the emotions they had shared. Chioma, realizing that she had lost, eventually left the town, her schemes having backfired completely.